All right, welcome to this explainer. Let's jump right in, shall we? Today, we're going to treat a new business exactly like a patient walking into a clinic. Having a groundbreaking idea or super passionate team is fantastic, but without a proper financial diagnosis, even the absolute best startups can bleed out before they ever really get off the ground. So, we are going to check the vital signs of business health, drawing directly from expert economic and accounting sources to give you a definitive financial survival guide for your startup. Here is our game plan for today. 1. Fatal mistakes. 2. The break-even point. 3. Cash flows. And finally, number 4, sustainability.
I want to kick things off by asking you this really high-stakes question. Why do new projects actually fail? It's a pretty harsh reality to face, but stepping into the world of entrepreneurship is a dream that quickly turns into a nightmare for a lot of people. And the core reason, which we see highlighted across all our source material, is that having a great idea is just never enough if you don't have financial literacy. Enthusiasm, unfortunately, doesn't pay the rent. So it's absolutely crucial that we understand exactly where others have stumbled, just to make sure we don't fall into the exact same traps.
Okay, Section 1, Fatal Mistakes in Entrepreneurship. It's honestly kind of crazy how avoidable these top fatal mistakes are, as identified by the economic consulting firm Riata. The absolute fastest way a startup bleeds out is by jumping in without a comprehensive feasibility study. People just rush to execute. Then you've got poor capital management, just spending randomly on things that don't drive actual growth. Add in rushing to hire this massive team way before you actually need them, completely ignoring what your competitors are up to, and having absolutely zero backup plan for risks. Yeah, you've got a perfect recipe for failure right there. The contrast between a business that survives and one that crashes is stark. The failing approach is entirely characterized by chaotic, random spending and a total lack of planning. You're basically just guessing. The winning approach, on the other hand, demands immediate, deliberate action. It means sitting down, mapping out a highly detailed budget, and often seeking expert economic consultation just to build a rock-solid foundation. Business survival isn't an accident, right? It's the direct result of structured, intentional financial planning.
Moving on to Section 2, your survival tool, the break-even point.
Let's get really clear on what this means. The break-even point is that precise magical moment when your total revenues perfectly match your total costs. Your net profit is zero, but crucially, your loss is also zero. I absolutely love this concept because it strips away all that complex accounting jargon and gives the entrepreneur a single, incredibly clear target to aim for. It answers that one terrifying question keeping every business owner awake at 2 a.m. How much do I actually need to sell just to cover my rent and salaries? Let's see how this plays out using a really practical case study from KSA Tools. Imagine for a second you're opening a perfume store. First, you've got your fixed costs, things like your shop rent and employee salaries that you have to pay whether you sell one single bottle or 1,000. Let's say that's 10,000. Next, you have your variable costs, the glass bottle itself, the packaging, the actual perfume liquid, which costs you, say, $100 per unit. Finally, your selling price to the customer is $200. So to find out how many bottles we need to sell just to survive, we take our $10,000 in fixed costs and divide it by the 100 in margin we make on every single bottle. And that brings us to our magic number, 100 units. The whole point here is that you must sell exactly 100 bottles of perfume every single month just to break even. Bottle number 1 to 100? That just keeps the lights on. But here is where it gets exciting. Bottle number 101. That right there is where pure, clean profit finally begins. Every single bottle you sell after that 100th unit puts a net profit of 100 directly into your pocket. Having this exact mathematical number gives your entire sales team a definitive, measurable goal. Now, if selling 100 units feels way too steep, don't panic. There are actionable steps you can take right now to lower that break-even threshold and hit profitability a lot faster. Number 1, ruthlessly reduce your fixed costs. Maybe work from home instead of renting some flashy, expensive office. Number 2, if the market can bear it, try raising your selling prices just a bit. And number 3, negotiate aggressively with your suppliers to knock down those variable costs. Doing literally any of these 3 things shrinks that magic number, making your survival so much easier. All right, Section 3, cash flows, the lifeblood of your business. Okay, so a cash flow statement is a financial document that tracks the literal, physical movement of cash in and out of your business. It relies entirely on actual money hitting your bank account, not just theoretical billing. You see, while other financial documents might show you what you should have made in a perfect world, the cash flow statement is the one and only document that absolutely does not lie about your true liquidity and your real ability to pay your bills today. Notice this explicit contrast highlighted by the accounting experts at Kashuf. An income statement operates on an accrual basis, meaning it records a sale the absolute second you issue an invoice. That creates what we call paper profits. But listen, paper profits don't mean you actually have the cash to pay your employees on Friday. The cash flow statement, on the other hand, measures your actual liquidity. You could be showing massive profits on paper, but if your clients haven't actually paid you yet, your business is going to suffer a fatal cash crisis.
To really wrap our heads around this, we can visually break down cash movement into 3 distinct buckets. First, operating activities. This is your daily engine, basically the cash from selling your product minus what you pay your suppliers and staff. Next, investing activities. This is cash spent on buying long-term assets, like heavy equipment, or cash you get from selling them off. Finally, financing activities. This tracks cash from securing bank loans, paying them back, or maybe taking in money from new investors. Understanding exactly which slice your money is coming from is absolutely vital for a healthy diagnosis.
And that all leads us to the ultimate metric, free cash flow. Basically, you take the cash generated from your everyday operations and you subtract your capital expenditures, which is just the money you spend maintaining or buying physical assets. So why does this matter? Well, because a positive free cash flow is the primary indicator used by banks to see if a company can independently fund its own growth without desperately relying on outside loans to survive. It proves that your business engine works all on its own.
Which brings us to our final section, number 4, sustainability for financial success.
To achieve true long-term financial sustainability, you've got to combine all these tools. First, you use your break-even point to set ruthless daily sales targets for your team. They need to know the exact number they're chasing every morning. Second, you rigorously monitor your cash flow statement to ensure that all those sales you're making are actually translating into liquid cash in the bank. And third, you adapt continuously because, let's face it, the market changes, costs fluctuate, and your financial strategy has to evolve constantly to stay ahead of the curve.
I really want to leave you with this incredibly powerful thought directly from Shuf's financial analysis. Liquidity is the real engine of growth. It's such a perfect metaphor. It illustrates that your passion, your marketing, your brilliant ideas, those are the steering wheel. But cold, hard cash in the bank, that is the engine. If that engine runs dry, the car stops moving entirely, no matter how beautiful the design is. So as we wrap up this explainer today, I'm going to challenge you with one final question to take back to your own desk. Is your project genuinely ready for a cash crisis? Do you know your exact break-even number? Are you tracking your actual liquidity, or are you just staring happily at paper profits? Take these tools, apply them to your venture today, and build a business that is mathematically designed to survive. Thanks so much for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.